Hey everybody, my name is Victor, and today I'm going to tell you about my number one tip for staying very lean. For men, 7 to 8% body fat or even less, and women 12 to 15, which is very lean for women. How to maintain that while still enjoying all the foods that you enjoy, like your favorite junk foods, the foods that most people presume that they have to part with in order to get and stay very lean. And even like drinking alcohol and beer, you can do all of that. And I'm going to tell you my number one tip for achieving that. Now, recently, I just went through about a year where I lost about 26 pounds of pure fat and even increased my strength significantly. I'm stronger than I've ever been, and I'm at a very light body weight now. And as a result, the combination of being very strong and developed while at a low body weight, by definition, you're very lean and have like good muscle definition, okay? So my number one tip for doing that is what I call strategic fasting, the easy way. Now, a lot of people, they hear the word fasting and they automatically assume this is gonna be hard, this is gonna suck. What is he, some kind of weird spiritual nut? No, none of that is true. All you have to do, for example, tonight, I'm going out to this place called the Hamlin Corner. I think that's the name. And I plan on getting a big fat greasy burger. They have these awesome sweet potato fries that they actually drench in sugar and cinnamon. And I'll probably have a couple of really thick, like stout beers. Now, most people would think there's no way on earth anyone can get away with that kind of stuff and stay lean, but you can. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just simply not gonna eat until I go out. Yeah, I'll be hungry, but for someone like me, I'm about 176 pounds. To maintain my body weight, I need to eat about 2,600 calories, 2,500 calories a day. So even if I go out of my way, I'm not gonna be able to physically take in that many calories in that one decadent meal, okay? So now this kind of begs the question, well, I don't wanna have to not eat all day. That's hard, that sucks. It's really tough not to eat. That's not true either, because that's why I call it strategic fasting. I have a very kind of a couple of neat little tricks that I've learned along the way to make it really easy. One of them is understanding hunger. Your hunger does not grow continually. And what I mean by that is you might wake up, say you normally eat breakfast at 10 a.m. and you wake up and it gets to be about 10 o'clock in the morning and you're hungry, obviously. Your body's used to eating and you get hungry. So the idea of going into what I'm gonna go out like 5 or 6 tonight, the idea of going into that time seems impossible because you assume that your hunger is just gonna get worse and worse and worse and worse, but it doesn't. It will come in waves for a little while. And what's gonna happen is okay, so you're hungry at 10 a.m. If you just go and do something, by 10:15, you will not be hungry. The hunger does not really, it's not a chronic thing. It just goes away. And it comes back, but it doesn't come back any stronger than it did the first time. And one of the real interesting things that occurs is once you get to say you eat breakfast at 10 a.m. normally, when it gets 2, 3 o'clock, when you would think that you'd just be fucking starving, going crazy, that's when you start to feel really good because your hormones actually shift and you start to feel phenomenal. You release, I don't know how to pronounce, neuroepinephrine or something, and it's very similar to adrenaline. So you feel really focused and almost euphoric. You feel like $1,000,000 and there's no hunger. Now, with all that said, to deal with those intermittent hunger waves, I have a little technique and I call it my strategic usage of coffee. I stole this from another YouTuber. It's something he does, but it works very well and not many people know about it. So I'm gonna pretend I coined it. Just kidding. Anyway, what you do is rather than waking up and having your coffee right away, you're gonna wait a little while. So if you have your coffee at say 8 in the morning, try to wait till 9 or 10. Just have a bunch of water. You'll feel good from the water anyway. And then have a small cup of coffee. Make it, you don't have to have it black. I would use a 0-calorie sweetener like stevia, opposed to Splenda or Sweet and Low. That's all bullshit, that's not good for you. Use stevia. It's a natural 0-calorie sweetener. You can get it anywhere, Whole Foods, any of your health food stores. You can order on Amazon for $5, get 100 packs of them. And then maybe a little bit of cream. Don't go crazy with the cream. So I recommend having your coffee a little darker because if you like your coffee real watered down, then what you're gonna do is end up with a massive cup of coffee. And if you like cream, then you're gonna need a lot of cream. So I like to have a little Keurig cup. It's a real small amount of caffeine, just a basic cup of Keurig cup. and I'll put it on the lowest, like the first setting, so it comes out really dark. So I only need a little bit of cream and a little bit of that stevia. So have that a little bit later in the day. And then, like, I'd say in between that time and when you're gonna actually go out and eat, like 5 or 6 or whatever, have another cup of coffee when you actually start getting hungry. So I plan on going out today around like 5. I woke up at 7 today. So I had a cup of coffee at like 8 or 9, and I just had another cup around like 2 o'clock. And I feel good, I'm not hungry. Now, when you start to get towards like the very tail end of your fast, in normal circumstances, it's not really a big deal, but I have children, and you can get a little bit edgy, a little bit irritable. Nothing noticeable. If you're kind of doing your own thing, you won't even feel it. But if you have like kids that just are driving you a little bit crazy, you know, in the past I've like flipped out on them, and I realized, okay, you got to do something about this, buddy, you know. So at that point, what's happening is you're actually not truly, your body is not actually in need of food. The situation really is your what's called your liver glycogen is low. It's just like glycogen is like stored up food basically that your body will use for energy. And once your liver glycogen gets low, that's when you start to really feel like, oh, I need to eat, man. But fortunately, you don't need a huge meal to restore your liver glycogen. All you really need is a very small serving of fruit. And in the context of not eating all day, that small serving of fruit is going to be very surprisingly satisfying. So strategically use your coffee, couple small cups per day to get you through. And then like maybe a couple hours or maybe an hour before you go out, when you're really starting to kind of like get sick of this fasting bullshit, have an apple or have like a handful of berries. Again, you're gonna wow, it's gonna like really lift you up, that little small serving of fruit. And that's my key, guys. Enjoy. Peace.